Good morning, one and all. Willie and I are out in the garage and going to start another day's work. He's trying to figure out what I'm talking about. So here we go. Let me flip around here. Today we're going to do a couple of things. I'm going to show you underneath the dash of this El Camino on what I'm working on as far as the clutch, getting the hydraulic cylinder mounted. Then get a look at it from out underneath the engine bay, and then we'll go through and talk a little bit about the air conditioning. So I found out that I purchased this hydraulic clutch kit kind of in a transition period. They've got one that is much easier to install now. Of course, I've already got this one and can't send it back, and I don't want to spend another $500 to make my life easier, so we're going to go the hard way. So let me show you what we got here. Try to figure out a good spot to put this, but this is where the clutch pedal, I've got it mounted. You can see some holes up here in the firewall. I've been busy drilling, and eventually then this plate has to mount up in here. I've kind of got some holes in the right spot, and then the master cylinder will bolt in from the underneath side. Hard to see, but you can see there's a metal ridge here. This is pretty flat, but I want to stay on that flat area when I do this. Let me pause for a minute. Okay, we're back out under the firewall here, into the engine bay. There's the master cylinder up there. And this is the location where the hydraulic clutch assembly will need to mount. Kind of hard to see with my hand in there, but it's upside down. There we go, something like that. And it's adjustable for angle, so I can rotate it to get this shaft to line up better as I get in there. The problem is, going back up here, you'll see the stamping has ridges all around, so when I went to mount, I could only get 2 holes in here. The other 2 were here, so everything was sitting at an angle. So my plan is, I've cut a template out here. See if I can set it in. Let me put this on pause. Okay, I've cut a template out. It'll go back up in there just a little bit. But I'm going to cut that out of a piece of 1/8 inch steel so that it's sitting inside it'll be flush on the inside here where my finger is wiggling. Whoop. And flush out here. And then I'll have to cut another little piece in here so that when I get done, I've got a flush surface there to mount the master cylinder on. Then I'll weld all that in, and I might have to do a little grinding because that stamping is a little thicker by here, so I may have to do a little grinding back in here to get that to work. So today's project, see if I can use either the plasma cutter or my grinder to get that template cut out, those 2 little pieces of template, and get them up in there and start seeing if I can get this bolted in some kind of better mounting fashion. I wasn't happy with trying to do what I was doing before, so we'll see what happens. I'll get out from underneath here. Well, we'll switch gears for a minute here, and I've got the air conditioning unit sitting out on the workbench here. And I've been working on trying to figure out the arrangement for these heater hoses. This will come out, the firewall sits right here where my hand is. So this has to come out behind the firewall, turn 90 and come through that hole. What I'm working on is trying to, there's a second heater hose down in here that I have to do the same thing with. So I've ordered another one of these to see if I can clock it just a little bit and maybe get that to work. If not, I've ordered a long L shape, which I think I can get to work, but then it will have to make a 90-degree bend in here and another one to get out of the firewall. So I ordered some connection sleeves from Gates. I want to thank a friend of the family, Pat, for hooking me up with some contacts at Gates. They were very helpful. And I've got the sleeves, should be here today. And then try to make a permanent connection on this. I have purchased some, I forget what they call them here, hang on. Power locks, I think. That cardboard tube, the cardboard green striped tube on the inside comes out, and this outer sleeve works very similar to shrink sleeve or shrink wrap for wiring. It slips over the hose and the connector, and then I'll use a heat gun to shrink that and tighten it up on the hose. The big advantage of using these power grip connectors is they will expand and contract with the this different diameter of the hose as it gets hot and cold. The old worm gear clamps, and no matter how tight you tighten them, once the metal expanded, or the hose contracted, it was a fixed diameter and never changed, so they were more susceptible to cold temperature leakage. So this should be a more permanent solution, especially up under the dash where I'm going to be working here. So the rest of these parts are supposed to be in today. Then I'll see what I'm going to do here, mount this unit up. Didn't make a lot of progress this week, but I spent a lot of time on emails and telephones and getting that done. The other thing I did was I figured out that since I haven't titled this thing yet, I really don't have insurance on it. So I went through Hagerty, through the local Riley Insurance Agency, and got a builder's policy on it. And so I'm now covered in case we get some kind of crazy windstorm or fire or something happens. So that's what I'm doing. Maybe I'll try to post something tomorrow if I have any good results. If not, I don't know, may just have to drink beer. So we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.